Welcome to our video about some grammar and the first writing project. Our focus today is on subjects and verbs. What is a subject? The subject of a sentence is a noun, always a noun. Often it might be a pronoun, it might be a proper noun like a name, but it's always a noun. It's usually the first thing in the sentence. In level 5 writing, it will always be the first thing in the sentence. We will not see other sentence types. There is one exception, imperative sentence. That is a command, like, come here, sit down, drink this. The subject of an imperative sentence is you. It's whoever I'm talking to, but the word you does not appear in the sentence. The subject usually does the verb. Well, what is the verb? The main verb of the sentence is the action. The whole sentence is written to tell me what happened. What's the action? The subject usually does the action, whatever that action is, and the important thing is that the main verb has tense, past, present, future. Let's focus on subject again. The complete subject is the entire noun with all the other words that might describe its meaning. The simple subject is the single noun. It is possible to have a compound subject. We'll see that. So let's just look at some examples. Here's a sentence. What is the subject? And if you said dog, you're right. The dog barked, right? The dog is the one who barked. But the complete subject is everything, including adjectives. Okay, let's try a different one. What's the complete subject? Well, the simple subject you might think is men. That's right. That's right. The complete subject, though, this whole thing, because all of this other information, how many? Were they creepy? What were they wearing? All that other information is about the men. And what are they doing? They're following me. Couple more. What's the subject? The simple subject? Yeah, people. And the complete subject? You've got it. If you notice that the verb is struggle, it will help you figure out who struggles, and that's people who have criminal records. Here's a sentence. Please have a drink and enjoy yourself. What is the subject? Well, this is an imperative. You're right. It's a direction. So there is no subject. But I understand that it's you, whoever I'm talking to. Complete verb and main verb work the same way. There is a single verb that is the action, what actually happened. And there might be some other words. So an example is this. The mouse immediately escaped into a hole. What's the action? What happened? It escaped. It ran away. But the complete verb will include the time word immediately. Here's another one. What is the main verb? It's text. It's text. So what's the complete verb? It's going to include modal verbs, time words like never, and adverbs repeatedly, ly words. Here's a sentence. What's the action? Well, this one's a little bit easier. Eat, right? That's what happens. But notice that the ing is part of the complete verb. Let's think about that for a minute. Eating. Eating, is that a verb itself? Is that an action? It's actually a gerund. Gerunds are the verbs that end with ing. They look like verbs, but the grammar is like a noun. The actual verb here is are. Here's a different one. It's quite long, but focus. What's the action? What happens? Repair. Repaired, right? And all of these other words, the helping verbs, the modal verbs, the adverbs, they just help explain exactly when and how the repair will happen. Another example. Now, this might seem a little tricky. What happens? Well, I see some verbs. I see like, I see watch, I see eat. But do notice, watching and eating are gerund. A gerund ends with ing. It looks like a verb, but it acts like a noun. And what is the main verb here? What's the action? Like. That's it. That is the only verb. Another example. I see study and I see studying. So is that a gerund? It is. I also see pass, to pass. Is that the main verb? Well, I am studying. The verb is am. It's a be verb, right? And when you have the gerund with be verb, that makes continuous tense. To pass, this is called infinitive form, and this will never be a main verb. An infinitive, like a gerund, is more like a noun. Okay, that is a lot of information, but what are the main things you should remember? Well, what is the main verb of a sentence? That's the action. What happens? It's not every word that looks like a verb. What is the subject? That is the person or thing that does the verb. If you can remember that, you have a good start in recognizing subjects and verbs.